Good morning. Great to have you with us. So are you saying that part of your call has to do with Musk's stock sales?
Well, first, I would just be clear, I'm not a bear on Tesla, but we were a bull, and we were a very strong bull for a couple of years with a market-leading price target based on our model. The stock just hit our price target. Simply, I think maybe Musk was looking at our target. I'm not sure, but he did happen to announce that he was selling shares about the same time that the stock hit our target. The street has kind of gone now past us. I mean, we were bulls when nobody was really that bullish. There were a lot of neutrals and sell ratings and, $50 price targets. So I guess, we've done this a couple of times where the stocks hit our price target, and, it's actually been a little bit of a peak in the stock. So, I don't mind being disciplined. I don't do what kind of a lot of street analysts do, that they just find an excuse to raise the price target. We have an earnings number, we have a PE, and when the stock hits our price target, if we can't find a reason to raise our earnings, then, we have to make a decision.
Yeah, Chaim, I noticed in your note you say for now neutral rating, but we'll be back, I'm sure. So that plays into a lot of what you're saying. I wouldn't exactly call you a bear either. How much of it then has to do with it just hitting your target, and how much has to do with sort of the competition coming onto the market? And I'm not really talking about legacy players, but the pure EV players that like Rivian, which has just done incredible, not necessarily competing directly with Tesla, but Lucid Motors as well. How does that play into your call, or does it?
Well, you're right. There's a lot of guys coming on the market, but I think it's good for Tesla. I mean, even though I'm at a neutral now, I'm a closet Tesla bull, so I'm one of those guys now. But I do think that there's downside technically. I mean, the stock's and we're above the street for earnings, so I just think. And I think it's a fair price target for where we are, but the street's way below us for earnings for next year. So there is upside. I mean, so based on that, I should be bullish, but I think it's just price target related. I mean, a lot of guys coming onto the market, I think is good for Tesla because it's free marketing. They're not really marketing except, maybe Musk's Twitter handle. That's the marketing. But so all these guys coming onto the market, I mean, if you're going to kick the tires of a Rivian, you're going to have to go into a Tesla shop and check that out. And you're probably going to like Tesla. And so it's kind of gets people in the door for free to check out a Tesla.
That's interesting, Chaim. And he's long talked about competition helping the flywheel for the industry. We've talked about the Musk selling for a few days now, but I wonder, it was written a few days ago that Rivian, DataTrek wrote, is the first legitimate competition Tesla's ever had in terms of institutional investor interest. Is that true? Do you think there's going to be some siphoning off from Tesla into Rivian?
You mean from investors?
Yes, for especially on institutions.
I think a little bit just the opposite. I mean, we had a call in, I think it was October. I mean, if I remember correctly, that before the stock broke out to new highs, I mean, the stock was just going in an everyday, boring straight line higher, little by little. And that just looked like institutional buying. And I think what you have since, you had the S&P 500 induction, you had a lot of bears and non-believers that had to make a decision in Tesla. And, they were hesitant and maybe we'll get a 0.1% position or, we'll be underweight. But, with Tesla, ripping higher and the fundamentals just very strong, I think there's a lot of bears turn bulls and a lot of bears, kind of forced to rethink their, bearishness. And so I don't think people are getting out of Tesla. I think big funds are getting into Tesla, and that's why the stocks run up. And that's given Musk a chance to sell.